What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Bowie here. Um, this video is about casuals, casual players in the Mortal Kombat community. You know, the point of this video is to tell you casual players to cool your jets, calm down, shut up before you say something stupid. Especially as it pertains to Mortal Kombat 1 and how it's going to play and what kind of game it's going to be. Chill out. Seriously, chill out. Um, so first and foremost, I guess I need to define what a casual is, or what defines someone as a casual player. Well, a casual player is a person who fits any of the criteria, either partially or totally. A casual is someone who does not know frame data. They don't know what standing 2 means or what back 3-4 up 2 means. You know what I'm saying? They don't know the fighting game notation. A casual player is someone that doesn't know fundamental fighting game terms, such as neutral, such as AA, such as Okazemi, meaty, a punish. They don't know what it means for certain strings or normals or moves to be safe versus unsafe. You know what I'm saying? A casual is someone whose gameplay is defined by, having a particular tactic that they employ, and they employ that one lone tactic against everyone that they play. And when they can't apply that tactic, they either lose and don't play that person anymore because they fail to adapt, or worse yet, as in the case of Scrubs, they whine about how ineffective their tactic is, and they complain that the opponent spammed, or they complain that, the character that their opponent is using should be nerfed. That's the difference between a casual and a scrub. So if you're a person that abides by any of those criteria, if any of what I said is true for you, congratulations, you are a casual Mortal Kombat player. And guess what? That puts you in the majority. The vast majority of people that play this game do so casually, not knowing a goddamn thing. Well, there's levels to casualness. There are some casuals that literally just button mash. They literally just be pressing as many buttons as they can, hoping that they get a special move to come out. So you got those casuals. You got some casuals that can perform specials. They can even perform them consistently, and that's all they do, is they just do special moves. You've got some casuals that know specials, but they also know normals and strings, and some of them have even gotten as far as being able to put normals and specials together and strings together to form combos, and they just be trying to combo monkey people to death every time they play. Those are the more evolved casuals, because there's always levels to this. But again, they don't have a fundamental working knowledge of what's behind the scenes. They can do combos on people, but they don't quite know how to get their combo working on somebody that's really skilled in controlling neutral. Against somebody like me, these combo casuals, they find themselves completely at a loss. See, they thought they knew the game. They thought that Mortal Kombat was just all about combos, and that if they just learned the combo and made sure that they were good enough to perform this combo without even having to think about it, that alone would give them victory against most people. And it's true. I mean, these combo casuals can beat up other casuals pretty easily. But as soon as they run up on somebody like me, then they realize there's more to this. You know. Let me tell you something about me. I am not a casual. I would consider myself, I'm certainly not a pro, but I'm in that mid state between casual and pro. I'm sort of like the smart fan in the wrestling community that knows all the spots. You know, they have all the knowledge, they have all the history, they know the business. You know what I'm saying? Because they took the time to get educated on it. They're not professional wrestlers themselves, but they know a lot. They know a hell of a lot more than the person that just routinely watches wrestling every Friday night. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sort of like that. Or I'm sort of like, you know, imagine that high school athlete that played ball in college, but they never went pro. They didn't go to the NBA. But they played well enough to be competitive in college. They played on a ball team, and they won some things. They won a bunch of games, lost a bunch of games. Maybe they were even champions at some point. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't go to the NBA. You know, and that's fine. That person has a hell of a lot more expertise on basketball than just the person just casually viewing it from home. You understand what I'm saying? So that's sort of what I'm like. Except in Mortal Kombat, I don't need to win with a combo. You know. Against casuals, a lot of times either I mess them up with combos, or I don't even do no combos at all. I just be controlling that neutral. I just pluck them out the sky. I just whiff punish. You know, I just block when they do something unsafe. I bait them to do something unsafe, and when they do it, they die. Just like that right there, you see? Now, this is me playing against the computers in Mortal Kombat 9, because this game is so masterful that you can just play the computers and have fun, you see? But, I guarantee you that against the vast majority of you casuals, somebody like me will be insurmountable to a lot of y'all. Insurmountable. And that's even if you know your combos. If you don't know combos, you haven't a fucking, you know, you don't have a chance in hell. You know what I'm saying? And so, I say all of that to say that I have an air of what's known as gravitas as it pertains to talking about Mortal Kombat. Through my gameplay and my persistent good habits and knowledge of not just Mortal Kombat, but about neutral and footsies and all the various aspects thereof, I've earned the right to speak somewhat authoritatively about Mortal Kombat. I have earned this privilege that most of you casual players have not. See, you don't even know. You don't even know how to deal with what I'm doing here. I'm just playing some keep away using IAFs. You know what I'm saying? I miss those IAFs too. I hope she has the same things at MK1, but we'll see. You don't even understand why that moment was dope right there. You don't even understand what I did right there. You don't know what that's called. And that's okay. You don't have to know it all. You know, you can just play this game for fun, for shits and giggles. You know, you can only play this on the weekends or against people online casually after work or whatever. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. And if you're in that stage of life, then that's where you're at. I'm not trying to judge you or downplay you or nothing like that. Do you? However, if that's where you are, do not make YouTube rant videos talking down on how Mortal Kombat 1 is allegedly the same thing as Mortal Kombat 11 when it's not. Don't make YouTube videos talking about how bad MK1 is going to be when you don't even play MK11 well. You don't play MKX well. You don't play MK9 well. You know you trash at these games, but you see fit to talk down on Mortal Kombat 1 just because you don't like the animations, just because you don't like the cameos, just because you don't like something as trivial as the goddamn UI. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what a lot of casual players be doing. They be focusing on shit that don't even matter as it pertains to the game. They focus on everything else except what's important because they don't know how to determine what's important. What's important in a game is gameplay. Go figure. Specifically as it pertains to the Mortal Kombats, the meta and the gameplay mechanics are what determine whether a game is good. What's the movement like? You know, is there a run feature or not? Can we cancel our dashes or are they fully committal? You know, what are the anti-airs like? What are the jump arcs like? What kind of priority do jump-in attacks have? What options do you have for anti-airs? Can we do standing jabs? Can we do pokes? Do we have to go to air-to-airs? You know, or do we have dedicated anti-air buttons and moves? You know, what kind of defensive options do we have in the game? How do we build meter? Do we build meter? What kind of wake-ups do we have? What kind of wake-up options? Can you tech roll? You know, which knockdowns are hard knockdowns, which ones are not, and how do we know? What's the frame data like? You know, all those kind of things. You know, I hear people talk about MK11 and what was allegedly wrong with it and how it felt slower, but they don't even have the education to know why it felt slower. Well, the game felt slower because the normals had longer active frames. Generally, the strings, you know, started off with slower normals. The normals had more active frames, which made them drag out longer. And generally, a lot of the strings had lots of recovery on whiff to make it easier to whiff punish people with. Furthermore, many of these strings had gaps in them so that players could learn how to flawless block reversal them. These changes in conjunction with, you know, removing the run feature, and making walk speed decent to great for some characters, all of that stuff amounted in a game feeling slower and more weighty than past MK titles. That's why MK11 felt slower. Has nothing to do with the animations. Has everything to do with the frame data and the meta of the game. The meta of the game is all about a more, FG typical meta where whiff punishing and neutral and footsies are really important in these games. And so that's how MK11 was. MKX wasn't like that. And though MK1 appears to be somewhat like that, it seems to be following a lot of the same paths that MK11 treaded for the franchise. It's definitely not approaching things the exact same way. Movement is faster. Dashes are committal. You can't cancel them. But the walk speeds are dramatically faster, especially the acceleration of the walking. Moving back and forth is super fast. Jump-ins are floaty, and they seem to be universally so. Anti-airs are going to be super strong in MK1 because not only will you probably be able to do our jab combos like we can in this game and MK11, but with the addition of air strings and air combat, anti-airing with strings by jumping air to air with people and bouncing them off of the ground that's probably going to be a very viable strategy for Mortal Kombat 1, which is going to make jumping very difficult and dangerous. Not to mention, you have up blocking, which will give people full combo punishes for errant jump-in attacks. Not to mention, the fast walk speeds are going to allow people to really, trip guard and whiff punish. Not to mention, certain characters' uppercuts are really, really, really good at anti-airing, like Sub-Zero, based on what we've seen. See, my years and years of experience and good-ass gameplay earns me the gravitas to make these kind of determinations. Not to mention, I've looked at a bunch of gameplay of MK1 from some of the best players in the business. Players like Sonic Fox, players like Justin Wong, players like Sajim, players like Rufelmonger, players like Maximilian, players like Super. These are the kind of players that they can whoop on 99% of you casual players just like I can, except with them dudes, they need even less than I do. Sonic Fox is the type of player that can literally beat a casual by doing poke and uppercut. That's it. He will outspace you. He will out-neutral you. He will bait you and make you do all kind of stupid shit so that you can get poked and uppercutted. And he will beat you, casuals, and even pro players too, simply from doing those two things. That's how good he is. And he's got the medals to prove it. He's beaten people in Mortal Kombat and Injustice and a bunch of other fighting games all over the world for many thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. So his fighting game expertise gives him several times the gravitas that even I have. You understand? So when you watch gameplay from someone like him and you listen to his breakdown and analysis of the games, you learn a lot. You learn a lot, especially if you already have gravitas to begin with, especially if you already have a basic understanding of fighting games to begin with. Now, why do I even say all of this? I say all of that to say that because you casuals don't know shit about Mortal Kombat and about fighting games, your opinions on the games are lower than mine. Your opinions are lower than mine. And my opinion is lower than the pros. It's like a tier list, you know? You guys' opinion is D tier. Mine is A tier. And Sonic Fox's and all them, their opinions are S plus tier. Based on their levels of experience and their expertise. And now before you argue and say, "Nuh-uh, we're all entitled to our opinions." Sure we are. Yeah, we're all entitled to an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. But all opinions are not created equal, and we know this. We know this. Let me tell you how I know we know it. When your car breaks down, do you go to your primary care doctor to get it fixed? Or to figure out what's wrong with it? No, you don't. You know why? Because though your primary care doctor is a smart person, they do not have the gravitas to speak authoritatively about what is wrong with your car and how to get it fixed. They do not have the expertise in that area. A mechanic does. So no, you go to a mechanic when something's wrong with your car, not your primary care doctor. You understand? We understand intrinsically that the opinion of a mechanic is much more important within the context of trying to get your car fixed than the opinion of your primary care doctor. You understand? It's kind of how that works. So if you understand that, then you understand why my opinion is more important than yours. Not because I'm me, but because I earned my gravitas through good-ass gameplay and years of knowledge, experience, winning and losing, and learning from my mistakes. Understanding things, trying things out, all that. That's what gives me the gravitas to say what I say. In my analogy, you casual players aren't even the doctors in this situation. Y'all the bystanders in the lobby, waiting for their primary care doctors to come and call them into the office. So y'all are not even the doctors in this situation. You know what I'm saying? A doctor would be someone that's really good at some other type of fighting or some other type of game. Like let's say you had a professional Call of Duty player who had an opinion about Mortal Kombat. That person does not have gravitas to speak on Mortal Kombat, unless their gameplay was really, really, really good. But a lot of y'all's gameplay is not very, very good. Y'all just be playing. Y'all just be trying to combo people to death. Some of y'all don't even know no combos. Y'all just be mashing buttons. And some of y'all just be trying to spam special moves and stuff. And that's fine. Again, wherever you're at in this Mortal Kombat life, you can live there. You can stay there. That's fine by me. But once you decide where you live, don't go trying to chase them goddamn waterfalls. You dig what I'm saying? Don't be trying to sit here, throw stones at Mortal Kombat 1 and MK11 when you know you live in a glass house. Meaning, don't be talking shit about these games and allegedly how bad they are when you don't even know how to play the bad games. You can't even string together a halfway decent combo. You can't win a match against anybody that's worth a damn. All you know how to do is beat people that are worse than you. All you know how to do is beat people that don't know how to play the goddamn game because you don't even know how to play it that good. People be doing unsafe moves on you. You block them and don't punish them. You don't duck projectiles. You be jumping too much. You be trying to mash when you don't need to. You don't know how to get around projectiles and call it spam. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how to deal. But you see fit to talk down on Mortal Kombat 1. You see fit to authoritatively speak on how it's identical to Mortal Kombat 11 based on animations and UI. Bitch, please. No. Learn the game. Then you can talk. Learn how to play neutral. Learn how to bait opponents into doing silly things. And learn how to punish them effectively. Learn how to control neutral and control space. Learn what a BMB is. Learn frame data. Then you can talk. Then and only then can you talk. And then once you learn those things, apply them repetitively in your matches. Make it look like you might belong in a tournament when you play. Not because you're doing these crazy ass, dope ass combos or whatever, but because you controlled the neutral good enough to where you didn't even have to do no combo to win. You dig? Then we could talk. But until then, know your role and shut your mouth. Know your role and shut your mouth. Or to use a more, contemporary saying, sit down. Be humble. When somebody like Sonic Fox has something to say about a game, or has something to say about the meta of a Mortal Kombat title, I have to sit down and be humble. Because he's way better than me. He knows things I don't know. He does things I don't do. He plays the game for money, and he beats way better opponents than I beat consistently. So I got to shut up. And I got to shut up because maybe I can learn something. Maybe I can incorporate something that he is doing into my gameplay and make my gameplay better just from watching him. Just from watching him and doing what he does. You understand? And I've been playing this game since the arcade days. Now, I didn't play in arcades, but, Actually, I have played quite a few of the arcade versions of these titles. But I've been playing since the 90s. Some of y'all were born in the 90s. Some of you guys' first Mortal Kombat was the 3D Mortal Kombats. That was your first taste of MK. And that's fine. But you don't get to speak authoritatively about Mortal Kombat if your first Mortal Kombat was MK Deception. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if you ain't gone back and played them classics and experienced how great those games were. Because then you will understand why the roster in this game that you're looking at right now was so fire. This roster was perfect. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of roster, I understand quite a few of you you casuals, you dislike this game because of its use of cameos. As I've stated in previous videos, you're allowed to dislike the cameo system. You are allowed to wish that there was still a classic one-on-one mode like we're used to having. But what you're not allowed to do is to rewrite history. You're not allowed to pretend as though people were not clamoring for tag mode like a motherfucker. Because all throughout the life cycle of MKX and MK11, I heard a lot of people online be like, I want MK9 tag mode back. Mad people said this. On the various social medias, people love MK tag mode. They love it so much that they don't even play it. Because they didn't play it in MK9 like that, I guarantee you. I was the one sitting up here coming up with tag combos with Johnny Cage and Katana, with Sub-Zero and Scorpion, broken ass resets and things of that nature. I was the one coming up with tech for that stuff. I ain't spread it to the world or nothing, but I'm talking about, came up with tech for myself that I could use. So I was playing it. Half the people that was clamoring for tag mode are casuals just like you. They don't know what the hell they doing neither. But they wanted the tag mode. The cameos are the best of both worlds. They give you that tag mode experience of being able to do tag team combos, but you don't have the burden of having to learn two characters. You only need to know one. You see? And so that's dope. Now, some of you don't have so much of a problem with the cameo system so much as you have a problem with the potential roster. And you're going to be real mad if one of your favorite characters winds up being a cameo. To that I say this. If your favorite character was going to wind up being a cameo, best believe that means that they ass wasn't going to be on the main roster. If this game didn't have a cameo system, that character was just going to be gone. You understand? They decided to bring them in as a cameo because they're too popular to be missing from an MK, but they're not popular enough or relevant enough to the story for them to be included in the game. You understand? So they're here as cameos, as opposed to not being in the game at all. So you should thank your lucky stars they're getting some representation, because cameos are represented quite heavily. I mean, they got their own fatalities, they got their specials. They even begin fatal blows, and they break things up as part of breakers. Like, the only thing they don't have is normals and strings. You know what I'm saying? So they're heavily represented in the game. So I would take that over not being in the game at all. But then also, um, if you really have some sort of principled disdain for cameos, understand that you don't need to use them in your matches in MK1. See, we're working with complete characters now. Characters that have full toolkits to deal with a variety of situations in the game. So you can do combos, you can play neutral, you can control space without having to resort to using those cameos. So if you really hate the cameos, just don't use them. Do not press R1. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's hard to do. Or better yet, just don't play MK1 and shut the hell up. Maybe this ain't the game for you, bruh. Maybe you need to go back and play an older title or something else. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. You're allowed to dislike whatever you want to dislike, but shut the hell up about it. It's sort of like them passport bros that want to sit here and talk down on modern women, which is typically a pseudonym for black women. You know what I'm saying? That's who they really talking about. They want to sit here and proclaim that modern women are so trash, and they'll go all across the globe and get them a more submissive woman from somewhere else. Well, go on and get her ass then, but shut the hell up about modern American black women. You know what I'm saying? Like what you like and shut the hell up and don't disparage nobody. Is that too hard to ask? So if you casuals are going to decide to skimp out on Mortal Kombat 1, without even having played the game yourself to see if it's trash, without having taken time to learn the previous games at a fundamental level to really understand them so that you could see why MK1 is so great, if you're going to do all that, go ahead and do it and shut the hell up then. Cool your jets, be quiet, calm down, be humble. And let the rest of us be. Let the rest of us enjoy the beauty that is going to be MK1. The unique game that is going to be completely different than MK11 in very significant ways. Let us enjoy that game in peace. Stop trying to kill our goddamn vibe just because you don't understand fighting games, you dig? As a great man once said, and I may have said this already, but I'm going to say it again. Know your role and shut your mouth. Your role is the ignorant casual. That is your role. So since you don't know nothing, don't say nothing. Really? You dig? And let the rest of us enjoy this game in peace. You dig what I'm saying? But with that being said, I'll catch y'all later. 1.